We were raised on slogans. Just say no. This is your brain on drugs. The war on drugs was wallpapered across our childhood like a warning label on life itself. But they were just words, posters, mottos, and like most things in our world back then, they didn't mean shit once you left the classroom. We grew up on Nancy Reagan, but we still did all the drugs. Not in protest, not in rebellion, just because we were fatalistic and the world felt dead. No internet, no instructions, just rumors passed down like folklore in locker rooms, at bus stops, behind dumpsters. Someone always knew a guy who tried something, and that was usually enough. But before I divulge more, please like, subscribe. Don't be a poser. They told us to be good, but we watched our parents cheat on each other at neighborhood block parties. We were told to obey while the grown-ups drove drunk, chopped coke with credit cards, and popped pills in plain sight. It was like living in a showroom of broken promises, so we improvised. We started looking for cracks in the system, ways out, ways in. Anything to feel different than the fluorescent hell we were stuck in. We found old joints in jacket pockets, half-smoked bowls in an older brother's desk drawer. We didn't even know what getting high really meant, but we were already chasing it. We were broke, bored, and resourceful. Someone had rolling papers, someone else had a busted bong made from a Mountain Dew bottle and a socket. Someone always had a garage that smelled like gas and weed. We'd gather there like it was church, burn incense, not for the smell, but to cover the evidence. Put towels under the doors, fan the smoke out the window with a dirty t-shirt. And when nobody had weed, we scoured the house for pills, robbed the medicine cabinet blind. Antihistamines, muscle relaxers, leftover painkillers from someone's knee surgery. No idea what they did, only that they did something. It was all part of the process. Half science, half superstition. Before Reddit, before Google, there was the Anarchist Cookbook. A roadmap to subversion passed from hand to hand like contraband. Water damage, stained, smelled like someone spilled bong water on it in 1987. Told you how to build bombs and extract drugs from cold medicine. Half of it was lies, but we read it like it was scripture anyway. There was a kind of electricity in those pages, a belief that we didn't have to follow the rules, that the world could be broken down, rebuilt, and smoked. One guy boiled poppy seeds from the health food store. Another tried to extract DXM from cough syrup using lighter fluid in a coffee filter. He almost burned his house down. We didn't call it trauma. We didn't call it depression. We just said we were bored, tired, or not feeling it today. And instead of therapy, we passed joints. Instead of journaling, we got wrecked. Addiction wasn't a diagnosis. It was a Wednesday afternoon. And nobody noticed because everybody was looking the other way. We were latchkey kids, the after-school specials that slipped through the cracks. We knew where our parents hid their bottles. We knew how to fake sick and stay home to drink cough syrup with a Sprite chaser. We were self-medicating without the vocabulary. Everything had a soundtrack. Everything. You got high to the downward spiral, tripped to animals, cried to disintegration, and made bad decisions to ritual de lo habitual. Music was the only therapist that didn't judge us. It told us we weren't alone, that someone else out there was crawling through the same emotional tar as we were. We'd sit in basements, 4 or 5 of us, sharing a spliff and staring at lava lamps, talking about life like we had it figured out. We didn't. But for those few hours, it definitely felt like we did. And then you start to lose people. Not all at once. It's slow, creeping, and quiet. One kid dies inhaling Freon in his parents' backyard. Another crashes into a tree on a rainy night. Someone disappears after rehab and nobody hears from them again. We used to talk about them like they were cautionary tales. Now we talk about them like they're ghosts. There's a shelf in the back of your mind where you keep their faces, their dumb jokes, their last words. It gets heavier every year. You carry that shit forever, even if you pretend you don't. We didn't hang out in bars, not yet. We hung out in parking lots, behind bowling alleys and strip malls, outside diners that smelled like burned coffee and wet carpet. We'd sit on car hoods, tripping, talking about what we'd do if we ever made it out, what we'd do if we didn't. There was no rush, nothing to get to, just the moment and the music leaking from someone's tape deck. Those nights felt like forever, and some of them still echo. Eventually, though, you start noticing the difference. The buzz doesn't hit the same. The laughter doesn't come. You're not high, you're just gone. You scare someone you love. You miss too many days at your menial job. You start seeing your own reflection and not recognizing it. Some kept going, some stopped. Some of us never had the choice. But it was never about growing up. It was about feeling truly alive. It was about that desire to create memories of the good times that we knew couldn't last forever. I mean, we all thought we'd be dead by 40 anyway, so in our intoxicated, still developing minds, the risks seemed minimal. And we didn't all get sober. Some just slowed down, traded perks for meditation apps, swapped out ecstasy for the occasional edible, stopped blacking out and started pacing ourselves. We learned to function, to put on clean clothes, set alarms, and pretend. But part of us is still there, still in those basements, devouring tabs of paper, still hearing that same album over and over, waiting for something to click. We should have died. Some of us did. The rest of us just got better at hiding the bruises. But here we are, scraped up, a little wiser, a little slower, still suspicious of authority, still chasing that moment when everything stops spinning for just a minute. We grew up on Nancy Reagan, but we still did all the drugs. And somehow, some way, we're still standing, still humming that same tune, still carrying the weight, and still telling the truth, even if no one asks us to. Thanks again. This has been Slack Signal X.